Yes, you heard it right. It is a comparison between a foldable phone and a candy bar style phone. You might be thinking that is he gone nuts? That he's going to compare a foldable phone and normal candy bar style phone. But hear me out, there is a reason why I want to do this video. So hang in to see what it is. So let's jump in and find out more, shall we? Now, let's look into both the phones. You might be wondering that, yeah, this one is a regular candy bar style phone, as you can see, whether it is the Xiaomi 14 Ultra or the Samsung S24 Ultra. Yes, and this one is a foldable phone. Yeah, all of them run on the native Android 14. So it's not a huge difference because all three of them have got the same kind of processor, which is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. Both of these have got a 16 gig of RAM when compared to the 12 gigs of RAM what you normally get with the S24 Ultra. From my usage, the performance has been kind of similar. Whether you are using a foldable phone or normal candy bar style phone, the performance has been kind of identical. Yes, I'm not talking about the benchmark. If you are a person who is an avid benchmark score person, yes, you will be feeling like, oh, the candy bar style phone score much bigger or better score. But again, in day-to-day usage, I have not seen any kind of difference whether you're using any of these phones. Again, for comparison, I can actually see the screen size. They are kind of similar. The height is same for all three of them. Yes, the candy bar style phone have the width is slightly bigger when compared to the fold phone. But again, by looking into this one, I don't see a huge deal of difference. They look identical. If you are a person who's like confused, like, oh, should I still stick with the candy bar style phone, or are you going to make a plunge into going for a foldable phone? If you are that kind of person, this video is definitely for you. As you can see, it's not something which is a huge kind of gap separating all three of them. They look identical. The processor is the same. The RAM is kind of similar. All of them work with the same Android 14 software, and the experience is kind of similar, I would say. Yes, each and every one of them have got different UI. So the UI, as far as UI perspective, you might have some kind of preferences. So some people like the one UI what you get with the Samsung S24 Ultra. Some people like the Xiaomi's Hyper OS, which I personally like as well. And some like the Vivo's UI, which is pretty good as well. So it all depends on what your preference is. From my personal perspective, all three of them have got their own merits in their own way. All these phones are kind of similar, whether it is a candy bar style phone or the foldable phone. But what sets them apart is on one area, I mean literally one area, which is the camera department. These days, the cameras are the ones which makes a big difference. As I said, the processor, the RAM, the UI is kind of similar Android platform, but what sets them apart is the cameras. But even that also, apart from the lazy Samsung, which does not give you a very good camera in spite of you forking out a huge amount of money, with the Samsung foldable phones, they are absolutely horrendous in giving the consumers anything at all. Apart from Samsung fold phones, other foldable phones, they actually give you a very good camera. Whether it is the OnePlus Open or the Google Pixel Fold or even the previous iteration of the Vivo Fold and this Vivo X Fold 3 Pro, they all have got very good cameras. Along with that, they also have got dedicated telephoto lens, which makes a huge difference. If you are a person who likes to take a lot of pictures, the telephoto camera makes a huge difference. But yes, some people might argue saying that, oh, in the Samsung you get the S Pen support. These ones, they don't have an S Pen. Yes, agreed. Technically speaking, they are right. I have been using the S24 Ultra for some time. Trust me, I have hardly used the S Pen. Yes, there are few people who swear by the S Pen. Oh, I want an S Pen. I cannot live without an S Pen. Yes, for them, yeah, S24 Ultra seems to be the only route. You have to go with that one. If you want a S Pen and if you want a foldable phone, then yes, Samsung's Fold 5 seems to be the best choice. But apart from that, and for those normal users who don't use the S Pen quite a lot, then I would say, yeah, you can go for any of the phones, whether it is the normal candy bar style phone, which the Xiaomi offers or the Vivo offers, or even iPhone for that instance. That's pretty good. But if you want to think that, oh, let me go for a foldable phone, as we see in the future, foldable phones are gaining a lot of traction, and this particular iteration, the Vivo X Fold 3, seems to be a best fit in that category, because they've got the power and they have kind of ironed out quite a lot of issues which you had in the previous iterations. Everything is in par with what you get with the normal candy bar style phone. And the biggest bonus is, yes, the inner screen. The bigger inner screen is something which makes a huge difference. I have been in so many instances where I'm reading an article, or when I'm actually consuming content, or if I want to do multitasking, this one works perfectly fine. Yes, you can do multitasking in the normal candy bar style phone. You are actually limited to doing a split screen where you can actually see the content only in such a small screen. But in this one, you can actually see the screen. You can actually see the content in half of that, or like bigger screen. That makes a huge difference in my opinion. And also the viewing in this particular phone is really good, because it's so crisp. The display is absolutely amazing, and you get a bigger kind of real estate. Yes, it's a shame that still all the foldable phones, in spite of having a huge kind of screen, due to their particular aspect ratio, you get a big massive letterboxing. No matter whichever kind of screen you see, you will see the letterboxing, which is, to be honest with you, is disappointing. But hey, that's definitely bigger than what you actually see on the normal candy bar style phone. Just to show you context, let me do a comparison with all the three phones, foldable phone along with the candy bar style phone, for cameras comparison. So you can actually see over here. Let's do a test for, so that is for the foldable phone, and this one is for the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, and the next one is for the Samsung one. So let me see for the Samsung. Now let's compare all three of them. So you can actually see the comparison of the clarity of all three of them. I personally feel all three of them have done a very good job. I can't make sure which one is the best or which one is the worst. All three of them, according to me, are absolutely wonderful. So that actually comes to show how far the foldable phones have come when compared to the candy bar style phones. So even if I zoom in to actually see, so it's not a huge difference, I would say. Let me know in the comments below if you actually find any big massive difference which will sway you away from not having the foldable phones. You can actually see the clarity. I'm happy with all three of them. They all three looks exactly kind of similar with just a few iterations. Yes, you can actually see, as far as Samsung is concerned, it's slightly captured more details when you compare to the foldable phones. You can actually see the Samsung is slightly, just slightly captured much more detail. So just to double confirm it, let me take one more picture so you can actually see the comparison between all three cameras. So all three of them have done an excellent job. It's not a huge kind of difference which separates them from the other. So that's a small comparison. You can actually see how good the cameras are. I'm actually happy comparing all three phones together. They all have got their own merits and demerits, but the merits what you find with the foldable phone is much larger than what you actually see on the candy bar style phone. So that is something which I actually wanted to show you. And also, a lot of people always have got concern about the weight. Actually, they both kind of feel similar in weight. Normally the previous iterations, the previous foldable phones, they used to be massive, heavy when compared to the normal candy bar style phones, but those days are long gone. As you can actually see, the weight distribution between these are not huge. And also when you look into the slimness, so that is how they are when they are kept right next to each other. You can actually see it's not a huge kind of difference between these two. And this one, mind you, this one is two screens when you compare it with one screen over here. And when you compare this one along with the Xiaomi, and that is how they are. So you can actually see it's not a huge difference. And also let's check the weight as well. So that one is 245 grams and that one is 235 grams. It's only a difference of 10 grams. And when you compare with the Xiaomi's weighs much lighter than even the Samsung. So that is what I wanted to show you when I compared the foldable phone along with the two best candy bar style phone, barring the iPhone. If you are in the market, and also if you are confused, it's like, should I go for a foldable phone or should I just make the plunge to actually get a foldable phone? I would say, yeah, go for it. The market is there. Advantage is software it has got everything what you literally need. And I'm already convert from the candy bar style phone to the foldable phone. So I would say think about it, and if you are thinking about making a plunge, I would say go for it.